Hello, welcome back to 10 Minutes with James. I'm Buddy Pennington, pastor of Westfield Assembly of God in Northern Holmes County, Florida. We've taken a pretty good hiatus from doing the videos for 10 Minutes with James for several reasons that are all pretty much personal for my wife and myself. She and I have retired from 27 and a half years of home missions effort as managers of a Christian campground. And not too long ago, I had to have open heart surgery, which set us back for a little bit. But we're about 2/3 of the way through the surgery rehab, and we're getting back on our feet and trying to establish a more normal routine now that we've had to move from the campground that we used to manage and have set up a new residence in nearby Washington County, Florida. However, we are still pastoring at Westfield Assembly of God and enjoying our ministry there. As most of you know, ministry in churches has to have quite a bit of flexibility over the last year. And as we prepare to reinitiate the 10 Minutes with James videos, we pray that you would join us and let folks know that we are back online with the videos. Okay, it's kind of unusual, but we will begin our first video today with the last verse of chapter 4 of James. That verse reads like this: "Therefore to him that knoweth to do good, and doeth it not, to him it is sin." Now, up to this verse in the book of James, in chapter 4, he has pointed out to the Jewish believers some of their faults. He had covered everything from quarrels to critical spirits to having pretentious plans for business for the future. He's given them several warnings that challenge the readers to take a look at their motives and their intentions, to take a look deep inside of their hearts. Now, James now makes a statement that has been quoted over the years. It's been used as a basis for sermons and has motivated numerous essays and online blogs and a number of books. He says to them that to know to do good, but not doing good is the same thing as committing a sin. Okay, he says to them that because of all that he's already written, that's the therefore part at the beginning of the verse, it's committing sin if one knows to do good, but does not do the good. Now, his statement can be made by any leader within the Christian church in the world today. The fact of the matter is that a person who knows what should be done, but chooses not to perform that action is sinning. Failure to do, to be, to say, or to even think that which is good is disobedience against the eternal source of good. It is disobedience against God. Now, it has been said that not choosing good is choosing evil. There are several other ways to put that statement. Not acting in a proper manner will create improper actions. Not speaking out against evil is equal to speaking for evil. Not choosing is, in reality, choosing the opposite of what you say you choose not to do. Now, there is a progression in this verse from James 4:17 that we need to take a look at. The first step in the progression is gaining knowledge of the difference between good and evil. When we learn that difference between good and evil, we learn the difference between what is proper and what is improper. What is the right thing to do and what is the wrong thing to do. Now, there's a huge difference between an action being legal or acceptable in civil law, according to what man writes as right and wrong. And those things deal with our physical world. And something being acceptable or unacceptable according to moral law, that which deals with spiritual things. Moral law, the spiritual law, is based on knowing the difference between good and evil, and it establishes right from wrong according to God's commandments. Now, when we learn good from evil from learning God's moral instructions, we come to the second step in the progression in the verse. We then have to decide if we are going to do good or if we are going to do evil. Knowledge of the difference between good and evil places us in the position to either follow moral law and do good, or to disregard moral law and do evil. Now, this part of the progression is when faith comes to play in our lives. We have to believe that following moral law and doing good will lead to greater benefits in our lives than following evil will bring to our lives. We have to choose to place our trust for the future in living according to what God says about how people should live and what the good actions are that they should take, as opposed to taking evil actions. That choice requires faith in God. Now we then come to the important step of actually doing the good actions, saying the good words, thinking the good thoughts that the moral law of God says that we should think and say and do. If we have learned the difference between good and evil and decide to have faith in doing good, but do not actually do good, then we have negated our thought and our choice to follow God. We have negated our choice to have faith. Allow me to give you an example or an analogy of what I'm saying. I enjoy drinking a good cup of coffee. Quite a number of years ago, I learned how to make a pot of coffee. I learned which brands of coffee have less acid in them and therefore would not upset my stomach as much. I've learned much grounds to use to make a pot of coffee that would suit my taste. I learned how to brew that pot of coffee and how to pour it into a cup without spilling it all over the place. But if I do not actually drink the cup of coffee that I have made, then my knowledge of how to make it, my preparation of getting the grounds and the water and the pot and the brewer together will have been useless to me. I will have wasted my time, my water, and my coffee grounds. Not drinking the coffee would be equal to never having made it. Now that's the concept James is saying here at the end of chapter 4. We have to do more than know about good and choose to do good. We must actually do the good, or our knowledge and our faith will have been wasted. Not doing the good would be equal to choosing evil. And that, my friend, is sinning. It's my prayer that these studies in the book of James will be a blessing to you. As we reinitiate our study online through the videos, we encourage you to follow us on our website, westvillag.org. We will be placing the transcript of the videos there if you would like to share them with others. Click on the like and share button for our video that we place on YouTube. It's our prayer that you would be blessed. You can expect the videos to appear about once a week. If we are able to set up a good routine, we may be able to put more of them up during the week. May God bless you is our prayer. Looking forward to seeing you in the comments. Until next time, when we have 10 Minutes with James.